Right Edition, welcome. Happy day. More than 50 wounded and several people dead in the London Bridge attack. 3 terrorists carrying only knives went on a stabbing spree. President Trump tweeted this: "Did you notice that we are not having a gun debate right now? That's because they use knives and a truck." You know what? That's not meant to be a joke. I mean, you have to really think into that thing. And I mean, how accurate is that? Had they been out with a gun and boomity boom boom, I mean, everybody'd be all over us, wouldn't they? Us being the good guys, give us your guns, surrender them. They would totally overlook the fact that the bad guys did a bad thing with guns, and you gotta need to shoot back, right? The police arrived in 8 minutes. And the London politicians, the politicians overall in the UK, they're very proud of that. They're bragging about that. I guess, okay, I mean, in terms of what they normally do, I guess that's kind of fast, but 8 minutes, that's not fast, because it's slow if you're being stabbed. I mean, you should have a gun at a knife fight, just saying. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, recently a rural school there kind of hit the news, the mainstream press call it, and they said, hey, we're getting all this hassle because the parents are upset, parents of boys, because the boys are distracted in class because they can't pay attention anymore because the girls are wearing tops that are too low, shorts that are too high, and bra straps are showing, and many of them don't even have bras on, and the boys, they just can't focus on this, and it's kind of an interesting thing. It's too distracting, and some mothers got together that are also liberal people that write for the Globe and Mail, and here's what they said: when you interrupt a girl's school day to force her to change clothes or send her home because her shorts are too short or her bra straps are visible, you're telling her that making sure boys have a distraction-free learning environment is okay, but it's much more important than her education. You got to think that one through as well. I mean, really? Come on. To get an education, does that mean you have to come to class half undressed? I don't think so. Of course it's distracting. Go read somewhere about the difference between boys and girls. I mean, duh. I've been a man a long time, and there is a distraction. You kind of sit there, oh boy. I mean, I'm old and I'm distracted sometimes. Get over yourself, all you people. Cha-cha. Scarborough, Ontario. A woman there recently said in court that God is great and all this stuff, and she swore allegiance to ISIS, and she had taken a golf club at a hardware store, a Canadian Tire, and swung it at people and screamed all kinds of threats and Islamic chants, and she's now had 2 counts of assault with a weapon, assault, 2 counts of possession of a weapon, threatening body or bodily harm, and carrying a concealed weapon. She also had a knife tucked away in her garb. And you know what? If I was caught with mace in Canada because I'm white and I'm a Canadian, I would automatically get 3 years in jail, because that's a concealed weapon. I'm really interested to see what happens here. And they keep coming in. I mean, the Prime Minister Trudeau, he keeps saying, it's okay. We don't have to screen these people, just bring them in now. And you got people like her walking around hurting regular types of Canadians, and she has no respect for the Canadian government, no respect for the Canadian courts, and she'll probably get a check and a shirt. We've got to follow that story and keep you all posted in Canada. The Prime Minister has screwed it up. I mean, not totally. He's got some more time to really finish the job. But at the moment, the national deficit is $30 billion. That was just for 2017 so far. And the top federal tax rate now has gone from 29 to 33%, which is almost a 14% increase. 50% of the population in Canada doesn't pay any taxes on income. That's half. Those that earn $200,000 or more continue to carry the load. That would be described as socialism. Eventually, though, in a socialist system, it breaks down because people get tired of it. The people, not the people getting, the people giving. They say, hey, why did I go somewhere else? Why am I working so hard to give half of everything away? It's actually much more than half. It's discouraging, of course, but it's more than half, because you then add on your provincial sales taxes, and it's a tax to get your driver's license, it's this and it's that. Works out to almost 74%. So you kind of walk around in a bit of a fog and say, really? Should I go out and work this hard when all these other people aren't working very hard? The government takes from me and gives to them. Is that nice? Of course it isn't nice. These are liberals. Liberals are bad people. You can't fix stupid. Somebody's got to pay attention. How do you do that? You got to vote them out of office. Get a man on that. Okay, media in the West. They've been very slow to come to grips with this Christian thing. Christians are being knocked off all around the world, and they don't get much press. If you're a Muslim and you get knocked off or something like that, or black in Chicago, Chicago. I mean, there's all kinds of press. But if you're a white Anglo-Saxon Christian, and recently in Egypt, they knocked off a whole bunch of them. They walked into a school bus and said, you know, give us the chant, and you didn't, boomity boom boom, and they were killing the people because they're Christians. I mean, you know what? The West has to kind of come to terms with that and start to talk about it. It's kind of a good thing to be a Christian, don't you know? But I will say this, go get a gun. Hey, get a man on that. Y'all come back tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.